Hi there, so this is my reading response for chapters 13 and 14 of Cranford. So I'll start off by talking about what I noticed and found interesting in chapter 13, and then I'll discuss chapter 14. So in chapter 13, we are again reminded of Miss Jenkins' impatient and overbearing nature, which is a juxtaposition to Miss Maddie's more gentle and easygoing nature. We also witness Miss Maddie enjoying her independence and freedom from Miss Jenkins' control, which I find particularly interesting, is that Miss Maddie is able to pick out her own clothing from the fashion showroom. She doesn't have Miss Jenkins picking it out for her. So I think that's a pretty important step in her independence. I also find it interesting that the ladies of the town pride themselves on their modest views and claim to be superior to fashion, yet they still place a high level of importance and excitement upon purchasing new and fashionable articles of clothing. So perhaps they are not as modest as they would like to appear, and Gaskell is certainly alluding to this suspicion when Miss Maddie and Mary are wowed by the beautiful colors of the shawls. Even Miss Maddie herself admits that she would like to purchase more than one, so that doesn't necessarily scream modesty to me. Of course, she doesn't purchase anything once she discovers the issues that have arisen with the bank, which Miss Jenkins decided long before to invest in and acquire shares. So this brings us to the financial struggles that Miss Maddie now faces. So I find it interesting that the financial crisis that Miss Maddie must endure is very similar to the struggles that people of the modern day face whenever there is a crash in the stock market or whenever there is a drop in the economy. So in this year alone, a great deal of men and women have been laid off due to financial cuts, bankruptcy, etc. And they are forced to drastically reconsider their livelihood. Many are faced with losing their house or not being able to feed their families. So this is similar to Miss Maddie's predicament. What is both interesting and inspiring, although, is that Miss Maddie is more concerned for the others that will be affected by the crash of the town and county bank. So she's earnestly selfless when she worries over Martha's security and the others that will lose substantial amounts of money due to the poor judgment and errors of the bank. So another aspect that I wish to discuss is Miss Jenkins' involvement in this economic failure. So here we witness for the first time, perhaps, that Miss Jenkins committed a serious error in judgment. She has always prided herself on being very intellectual, being very considerate of the judgment of others and whatnot. So her stubborn nature forbade her from following the advice of Mary's father when he advised Miss Jenkins to refrain from investing in the bank. So I think that is pretty important. So now Miss Maddie must suffer the consequences of Miss Jenkins' error in judgment, but she does so gracefully, and although she is worried and concerned, she continues with her life and makes the necessary arrangements to the alterations that must occur for her survival. So in chapter 14, we are able to witness more of Miss Maddie's strength and endurance when exceedingly inconvenient and life-altering occurrences arise in her life. So there is one aspect of chapter 14 that I wanted to focus on, and that is when on page 193, Miss Maddie discusses the chances and dangers of matrimony. So this quote reminds me of the tenet of Wilful Hall, and the dangers and struggles the characters have endured in the name of marriage. Of course, Miss Maddie does not wish for Martha to rush into a marriage with Jem, especially on account of Martha's current financial predicament. Miss Maddie knows that divorce for a woman is extremely difficult in the Victorian era, even impossible in some instances, to obtain. So the last part of chapter 14 I want to discuss is when the genteel women of Cranford come together to anonymously help Miss Maddie with her financial struggles. The ladies of Cranford, although I find them at times considerably petty, are selfless for stepping up and helping a friend in need. I think we all hope that a friend would do the same, and that we would provide them with the help that they required. So that's all I have to say about this installment. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye.